morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Like in Swami Vivekananda's address in America, when he started by saying, "Brothers and sisters of America," I would like to start by saying, "Brothers and sisters of Prashanti." Now, I am not a very profound lecturer. Our friend Vasudev, when he used to have Maitri Milan in Prarthana Mandir for several days, he used to take the lecture. And I know Meenakshi, she is working on PhD. She is from Kerala. I know Sailesh Bhaiya, he is looking after YIC. I find Rudranath has come today. Rudranath. Well, before I start, let me tell you two things. The power of subconscious mind, how it works. And second, how a disadvantage becomes an advantage. Now I'll tell you how the subconscious mind worked. When I was not well for some time, you see, I have gone through very bad illnesses. They used to call it in medical language MDP, Manic Depressive Psychosis, or they call it mood fluctuation. You get into a high mood and then you get into depression. Everybody understands depression, but you don't understand high mood. What happens is you get up at 1 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock at night, and then what do? So, when my illness started, my father said you should start studying the Gita. So my wife got hold of a very learned Pandit Akshay Chandji Sharma. This is all Calcutta. So through him, we had 2 readings of the Gita. But I told him, Pandit ji, ठीक है गीता हम लोग पढ़ लिए, लेकिन मजा नहीं आया. You see, I have been educated in American schools, American Jesuit fathers, St. Xavier School in Jaipur, and then their university in Cleveland, Ohio, USA. Now both the places we were taught how to be scientific, how to be logical. So I said, गीता में 18 चैप्टर भी हैं, 700 श्लोक भी हैं, लेकिन कोई एक चैप्टर में सिर्फ एक ही टाइप के श्लोक नहीं है. तो कोई ऐसी गीता आप ढूंढ के दीजिए हमको जो ज्यादा लॉजिकल है. तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, मैं ढूंढता हूं, आप भी ढूंढिए. So he used to travel, he went to Banaras, Allahabad and so on. He could not find it. I looked in Calcutta markets, I could not find it. Then when we were parting company and I gave him Guru Dakshina, I touched his feet. He gave me a very simple little sentence. He said, my name incidentally is Kailash Pagadia and I am 72 years old. And this is probably the 20th time I have come here. And the illnesses I am describing were all cured here. So he said, Kailash ji, ऐसी गीता तो नहीं मिली, आप क्यों नहीं लिखते? Now that went into my subconscious mind, and that was the end of it. Then when this illness of getting up very early in the morning started, and I was not allowed to do office work when I was getting up so early. So I started, the subconscious mind, it's like a computer. You know, you press in the laptop, you press a button and something goes on the screen. So I pressed a button and my mind said that all right, you can't do office work, why not start work on the Gita? So I collected 4 or 5 Gitas. One of them was Dr. Radhakrishnan's. He was our president, and 3 others were there. So it took me several years, 3 or 4 years, early morning, not having anything to do except study the Gita. And in all these revisions, first of all, there were several shlokas that I discarded because they were not meaningful for the purpose for which Gita was written. And then I rearranged them. So all that took time, and I published a small little 100-page book. Exactly 100 pages, but it's all English. There is no Sanskrit here. So I rearranged. So that was the power of the subconscious mind. And the second, you had a disadvantage of getting up too early in the morning. You converted that into an asset. And this was the product. So now I will just give a little bit on the Gita. I have been requested by Susrut Bhaiya to give a speech, then by Meenakshi Didi to give a speech. Susrut Bhaiya of course mentioned that I should speak on how a businessman, all kinds of businessmen are helped by Gita. But I will tell you, not just businessmen, but any type of person. I think the most powerful shlok in the Gita is when it says, Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have a right only to action and not to its fruits. Now that's very difficult to understand. If I am going to work, how can I just forget the result? But I located from my study somewhere in the 9th chapter, Shlok 22. Those who worship me, Lord Krishna is saying this to Arjuna, meditating on me alone, who persevere, to them I bring attainment of what they have not and protect what they have. I have written here my comment. This is perhaps one of Gita's mightiest shlokas. And this Yogakshem Vahamyam, this is the slogan of our Life Insurance Corporation of India. So when I hit upon this shlok, then I said, then what is the problem? Why are we always thinking that we have only a right to action and we don't have a right to the fruits? Arey Bhagwan fruit apne aap denge na. You have to follow the principles and God will give you. So these were two ideas. And then before my Gita was published, I had occasion to visit Puttaparthi and get the blessings of the great Sai Baba. And he said there very comfortably that you need not work on so many shlokas. As far as I am concerned, these few shlokas are enough. And they are all in the 12th chapter. The yogi who is ever content, self-controlled, unshakable to determination, in determination, with mind and understanding given to me, he, my devotee, is dear to me. So the last words are Sa me priya. Sa, that person, me, he is dear to me. So this goes on, he from whom the world does not shrink, and who does not shrink from the world, and who is free from joy and anger, fear and agitation, he too is dear to me. So there are several definitions. So Sai Baba said that Kailash ji, itna study karne ka zarurat nahi hai, you concentrate just on these few shlokas. So there are different interpretations, but from my side, I will tell all of you, you are all mostly students, that the most important, this book is called The Essence of Gita. And from 700 shlokas, I have pulled out 441 shlokas. And my chapter headings are also very simple. Doubt and despair, that is Arjun's doubt and despair. In order to get rid of that, you have to, or Arjun has to understand God, devotion and salvation. Then he has to understand immortal soul. Then he has to understand perfection of qualities, knowledge and wisdom. And then comes most important chapter, self-duty and desireless action. Then there is joy and sorrow, and finally there is relief. So friends, you might study the Quran or the Bible or other teachings, but just remember one thing, if you just go on doing your duty, desireless duty, that means there you have to understand that this is your duty. You don't have to have any desire for the fruits. Whatever you do it well. The rest God will take care of. Bhagwan Shri Krishna will take care of. And whatever you are doing, if you are doing correctly, then God says you are dear to me. So what more do you want? You want your actions to bear fruit. You want to be near God. So all that is explained very simple language in my Gita. Now I have given a lecture on this Gita several times in the past also, and some of the listeners have desired a copy of the Gita. Now unfortunately this time I don't have too many copies, but if I get any addresses I will send back from Calcutta by courier. But just remember, the Gita is still the greatest of the teachings that we desire. We don't need the Bible, we don't need the Quran, we don't need anything else. We don't need the Constitution of India. Just do your duty selflessly without worrying about the result. You will get the result. Now it's time, so we have to come back to our usual prayers. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Enjoy your Sunday, okay?